What is going on, everybody? Sean Daniel here with Guitar Control. Today we're talking about triplets through a scale. Sounds boring, but it's actually the most righteous and wicked thing that you could ever do. So click the tab below to get started, because you're going to want to follow along. And these are going to be, we're going to do two locations over two very common chords you've probably already heard: E minor and A minor. I'm pretty sure you've heard these chords. If you have not heard of an A minor chord, why are you clicking on a video on how to use triplets in a very classy way? But a triplet is when you take one beat and you split it into 3 beats. Seems easy enough, right? So let's actually just take the chord first. So if we were to have just quarter notes in one bar, 4 count, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So just downbeats on a quarter note. A half note is when you split those in 2, so they're symmetrical. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now a triplet, the sound of a triplet is when you take those beats and split them into 3. So it's triplet, 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 triplet. You can count it as that, making triplet a 3-syllable word, or you can count the beat and the word triplet as a 2-syllable word. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay? So you can use these for your strumming, and you can also use them for like a lead thing. We're going to do more of kind of like a solo, intro to soloing type deal right here, through the easiest scale you could do, which is the open E minor pentatonic scale. So first of all, let's go through the scale real quick. The first note on every string is going to be open, which is what makes it so easy. It's going to be open 3 on the low E string, open 2 on the A string, open 2 on the D string, open 2 on the G string, open 3 on the B string, open 3 on the high E string. So open 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. Now, what we're really going to need to do is be able to go backwards through the scale. Okay, so 3, open, 3, open, 2, open, 2, open, 2, open, 3, open. Another thing that is going to be helpful before we really get into the tripletness of this is being able to pull off to get each of these notes. So instead of playing with, your pick, or I'm just playing with my fingers, you can pull off, okay? And it's different from just lifting your middle finger off. See, when you do that, that note loses a lot of energy. You want to pull it off, okay? All right, the harder you do it, the nastier it gets. The more serious of a guitar player you are when you pair the facial expression with the pull off. All right, so we're gonna do that for each of these. 3, pull, 3, pull, 2, 2, 2, 3, open, okay? Now is where the triplets begin. So we're gonna go backwards through the scale, 3 notes at a time. We're gonna do it really slow, then maybe we'll speed it up later, all right? So if we take the last 3 notes of that scale we learned, we have 3E, open E, and 3B, okay? So we wanna do this in a triplet way, which is really just, it's almost the same as just counting to 3, playing in 3 for 1 B. 1, 2, 3, all right? Now, the next thing we're going to do, which is something you're going to see in a lot of solos, even in all genres of music, a lot of guitar players do this to kind of just shred through something, is to go back 3 notes through a scale, go forward 1 note, go back 3 notes, forward, back, forward, okay? So actually, when I say forward, like we start here, 3E, open, 3B. Then we're going to go back to open E, 3B, open E. So let's just take these 2 triplets to start off with and get these really, really good. Okay, so it's that change of direction that makes it a little more musical and less of a, just bluesy kind of pentatonic whatever. We're backing through it, forward, backwards. Okay, so if we practice that for a while, we'll really get this triplet, triplet sound going on, okay? Now, if you want to just practice these in a row, that's cool too. Another thing that you can do that sounds really cool and musical is to add these to that E minor chord. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So we've got 4 counts. The first 2 were triplets right there. The third beat was just the root note of the E string in the 4th beat. was just the full chord, okay? So starting to combine these together can make some really cool musical stuff. So let's continue on backing up through this scale with triplets. All right, we've got these first two triplets down. 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Now the next one is gonna be 3B, 3, open, 2G. And then the next one is gonna be open B, 2G, open G, okay? So you can think of each triplet as having a starting point, and that starting point is just gonna go backwards through that scale. So a cool thing to do is to start attaching those extra 2 notes to make a triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we can go through the entire scale, which I'm actually gonna tab out. So if we just do that, it's gonna be, the first one's gonna be here. Open, 3B, open, 2G, open G, 2D, open D. Okay, so once we get to that last one, A, 3E, E, put that exclamation point, E minor, okay? You can also do the opposite and go forward with triplets. Okay, so I'll tab out the first 2 of those too, where it's just open E, hammer on A. It's just really just the opposite of that. Instead of pulling off, now we're hammering on through a lot of these, all right? So open E, hammer on A is the first triplet, E triplet, G triplet. The third fret of the E string is G, so I'm gonna say G triplet. 3E, open A, 2A. E triplet, G triplet, A triplet, B triplet. Okay? And then once you really drill that, you can really build up a lot of speed. All right, and again, this is just an open position because it's really easy to do. But another thing that I want to try is to go to something further on the neck. So let's do A minor pentatonic. So this is going to go over like an A minor chord if we want. The exact same shape, but now we're fretting the 5th fret instead of having open E. Okay, so we have 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Everything still applies, but now we're pulling off into a fretted note instead of a open note. And eventually we could actually combine some of these, which is pretty cool. But we're just gonna go backward through this A minor pentatonic shape in triplets. Same thing we did before. Triplet, 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 triplet. Just like that, okay? So let's just work on the first 2 at a time. All right, just right there. Don't even move on until you can get that. Triplet, triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Now, doing it with a metronome is a good way that you can kind of chart your progress and make sure you're doing it on time. Another thing, sometimes if you're really new to triplets, it can be hard kind of breaking them up and getting off of just the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and vibe that good counting kind of is started on. But getting these triplets is something that you really want to do. You're really going to want to do. So let's start just by doing these 2 and then jumping into E's. Okay, you can kind of hear they're pretty similar because a lot of these share notes. E minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic. Very, very similar shapes, okay? So you can kind of combine these, and really jumping into different positions is something that's gonna be really useful for your guitar playing in general. So why not get started right now at this moment? We're gonna do the first, or the last 2 in A minor, okay? And maybe that's gonna lead us into the E minor shape. All right, so again, I'm gonna tab that out, but what I've got here is 8E to 5 to 8B, back to 5E to 8B, 5B. We're gonna slide to 3B, open B, 2G, open B, 2G, open G. Okay, so we're connecting 2 shapes through the joy of triplets, which I'm sure we're all just learning and ecstatic about. And we can put those over A minor chord, E minor chord, totally movable shapes. If you ever see any, these are just minor ones. You can always use different major ones. Any kind of scale you want to use, you can run through it with triplets, because triplets is just a counting thing, right? It's one of the rudiments of counting, and something you really want to get down, because I think it is one of the more, I don't know, maybe one of the flashier musical things if you can really get it down quick, because you can just rip it off and then just impress all your friends, which is really what we're here for anyway. So hopefully you learned a little bit about triplets. Definitely share your own triplet experiences with us in the comments. And definitely make sure to click some of these other videos, because you can learn a lot of the scales and some of the other techniques that we're using in conjunction with triplets, and then just kind of meld all that knowledge together in a guitar control gumbo with myself and other great instructors. So definitely let us know what you think. Any feedback you have, positive, negative, some things that you want to see more, hit us up in the comment section, and we will talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.